Alabama won the national title under Saban under 2009, 11, 12, 15, 17, catch my breath, and 20. And Paul Bear Bryant also won championships in 1961, 64, 65, 73, 78, catch my breath, and 79. Okay. Going by the theme of your program, Alabama has to be the greatest football program ever. Okay. I'm ready to listen.
So you have just listed off the national championships for Nick Saban and Bear Bryant, and then made the statement that Alabama has to be the greatest program of all time.
I throw in 1992 with Gene Stallings when he beat Miami. Okay.
My first response is I put this live stream together because I am going to be ranking all the programs. And when I say all the programs, I'm not going to rank all the way down to Kansas because that would be like a 10-year project. But I'm going to be providing all-time program rankings in the history of college football. And I just wanted some feedback from you and from everyone else on what you believe should be included in those rankings. So, for example, we've got a list here, and that doesn't mean I'm going to include them. That just means I want to hear your feedback. But as we have had these various callers call in these discussions, I've written down national championships, of course, All-Americans, Heisman Trophy winners, NFL draft selections, first round NFL draft selections, winning percentage, conference championships, bowl record, Associated Press and coaches poll rankings, and national relevance. So you are on the national championship bandwagon, which I completely understand. Also understand, Dave, that some of these national championships can be disputed.
No. Oh, okay, certainly. But also, Saban since 2009 has four, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 Heisman Trophy winners.
Sure.
No dispute, right? Okay. Just saying. You said that. Just saying.
I'm just pointing out to you that, at least based on my perspective, not every national championship is created equal, meaning that some of them are tainted.
That's right. Exactly. The last one, exactly, because if Dabo and Misty would have been playing, Georgia wouldn't have won.
No, that's not what I mean.
Go ahead. You even said that, Mark. Go ahead.
I agree with you, Dave.
I heard you say that.
I have no issue.
I heard you say that, Mark, with Dabo and Misty. It says Georgia might not have won, right?
Dave, if you would just let me talk.
I don't want to even get into that, Mark, because that's a losing argument on your part. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. When I made that statement about certain national championships being tainted, I was not in any way alluding to the last.
You said, Mark. You said Georgia's championship was tainted because
I did not say it was tainted. I did not use that word. No.
I recorded it. I watched it.
YouTube records it for us. You don't need to record it. Dave, will you let me talk for just a second? Dave, will you let me explain? Dave, I'm asking you a simple question. Are you going to let me explain on my own show what I said and what I meant? Okay. First off, to conclude your question and your comment to this phone call about all-time program rankings, I was simply making the comment and the statement that if we went through every national championship in the history of college football, they're not all created equal. Some of them can be easily disputed. Okay. I'm not talking and targeting. I am not targeting Alabama when I say that. I am targeting anybody. Okay. For example, let me give you an example. In 1990, Colorado won a split national championship. They lost a
Yeah,
game.
because of the 4th and 5.
Yes.
Because of the 4th and 5. I got it, Mark.
And because of a clipping and because of a marginal questionable clipping penalty in the Orange Bowl.
5 downs, Colorado.
Okay.
They were giving 5 downs, right?
Yes. Plus, they also got a cheap penalty in the Orange Bowl, which won them the game. So they really could have lost 3 games. So that this is my point, is that
everything forever and a day.
As you know from
saying, those are the what I said to you are the great and also verified college football championship. Okay, let's not dispute. My Saban championships are undisputed, right? All you're saying is Bryant championship may be questioned, right?
I'm not talking about all of them. I would have to go through each season and just give some context because it's not Bear Bryant's fault.
Listen, Mark, our Saban.
Every time I start to say something, Dave, you cut me off. Let me complete my point. Let me complete my point. Obviously, Woody Hayes, Joe Paterno, Bear Bryant, Bud Wilkinson, all these great coaches coached in an era in which there was a vote. And we didn't have as many head-to-head matchups in bowl games and postseason games and not a playoff to determine a national champion. So it's just logical that there would be more disputed national championships because they played less games. They didn't play head-to-head. There was no playoff. So that there would be a Rose Bowl champion that's 10-0 and a Sugar Bowl champion who's 10-0-1 or something. And it just has to be looked at. So it's not a knock on Bear Bryant. It's just the era in which he coached.
Right. None of that Saban championships are disputed, correct?
Correct. Now, I will say that I don't believe that Alabama should have been in the 2017 playoff.
Right. But they won the championship.
Oh, sure. Oh, none of the national championships in the playoff era can be disputed from the standpoint of they all went out on the field and beat 2 really good opponents to win the national championship.
Right.
Absolutely.
Are you saying 2020 Alabama championship should be denuded because of COVID?
No, not at all.
Okay,
Dave.
And Mark, I'm just saying, I just told you all of Bear Bryant championship, and most of those are you can't dispute. I mean, especially 78, 79, right? I mean, maybe you go back and quibble with some.
The 78 and 79 ones are a bit. Consider this, Dave. In 1978,
Penn State, the goal line stop. Anyway,
okay.
I just say, Mark, the title of your all-time college football program ranking, Bama's got to be one. Bear Bryant championship.
They don't have to be one.
Championship and Stalling one. Okay, you got it. No one else is there. No one else is close. No one else is there.
Okay. All right, Dave. You tell me that this is Dave. Why do you start talking every time that I start talking? I've let you talk for like 5 minutes. And as soon as I open my mouth, you start talking over me. Dave, listen.
Now
listen. Let me make a point. Now you have to admit, if you can take off your Alabama glasses for just a split second, you've got to admit this is a disputed national championship. In 1978, Alabama went 11-1. Okay, that's the year that they beat Penn State in the Sugar Bowl. So even that unto itself is disputable. That Penn State didn't score a touchdown because I've seen a zillion replays. I watched the game myself when I was 8 years old, and I've seen the replay a zillion times. It could be disputed that Penn State broke the plane and scored a touchdown.
No, not on that third down play. Mark, you're wrong. He was inches short of the goal line, and you know that. And even given that, Penn State didn't score on the fourth down.
Disputed.
That's spoken.
I'm not taking a national championship away from Alabama because of that. But I'm telling you that if you were on the other side of that, Dave, I guarantee you would argue the opposite. I'm not saying that he did score. I'm saying it's disputed. It's just like if you're familiar. It's just like if you are. It's just like if you are familiar with the 2016 Ohio State-Michigan game, J.T. Barrett barely made a first down according to the officials' mark. But I do not have an issue with any Michigan fan who says he did not make it. Do I know that he made it? I have no idea. Spots on the field are, especially in 1978, are just, they didn't have a replay.
Okay, so you're disputing the 79 Alabama win.
I'm disputing it not even because of that game. Dave, on, I'm not even taking that game into consideration. Listen to this. Alabama lost at home that year by 10 points, 2 scores to USC at home, and USC finished with the same record as Alabama and won the Rose Bowl. Why is USC not the national champion? 1978, USC should be the national champ. They beat Alabama head-to-head. They've got the same record. They won the Rose Bowl. They beat them by 2 scores in Tuscaloosa. They're the national champion. That's how screwed up national championships are.
No.
How can you even dispute that, Dave? You even, completely being a moron sometimes, have to admit when one team beats the other team by 2 scores at their home and finishes with the same record, they should be the national champ.
Okay. So for your reasoning, then, Alabama should be this year's champion because they beat Georgia by 20 points.
They played again in a playoff.
Okay.
This was not a playoff era.
Come on, man. Okay.
Dave, come on. Come on.
No,
you can't be that much of a homer not to admit that is it's not even a disputed national championship. USC should be the national champ. There's how do you debate that?
79? 79?
78.
78? No. Alabama won the championships in 78 and 79. You know? Okay?
Dave, you obviously refuse to or are incapable of processing logical information.
No.
This is obvious to me that you either refuse to do it or you are incapable. If you're incapable, I'm sorry. If you refuse to, which I believe is the case.
You have your anti-Alabama glasses on. I think at this point, sir, I think you have your anti-Alabama glasses on.
Dave, let me play out a scenario for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's say next season there was no playoff. We canceled the playoff and said there's going to be a vote at the end of the year. And let's say Alabama, who's their big game? They play Texas, right? They play Texas on the road, right? They go to Texas. Let's say they go out to Texas and win by 10.
Most teams don't have the gonads to go there. Okay, go ahead.
Alabama goes to Texas. They win by 10 points.
Yes, sir.
Okay? They win by 10 points.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, sir.
And then by the end of the season, Alabama goes and plays in the Sugar Bowl, and they win. They win the SEC. They win the Sugar Bowl. They finish 12-1. And Texas goes, and they go to the Fiesta Bowl, and they beat somebody and they finish 12-1. And everybody votes and says,
Yes,
Texas is the national champion. What would be your response?
I take Alabama to play Texas.
Thank you. That's exactly what happened in 1978.
No, yeah, but no.
USC 24, Alabama 14. Who's the better team? USC 24, Alabama 14. They both go 12-1.
Yeah, but then they play at the end of the year where it matters. Did they play?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, they played in October. It didn't matter. It didn't count. Only the last game counts.
I can name college teams and the NFL teams that lost games to podunk.
You make absolutely no sense.
Doesn't matter. That's a fallacy.
Dave, say goodnight. Say goodnight, Dave.
Fallacy.
Good night, Dave.
Fallacy.